Hello there everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of Worlds of Wonder. And my word, so much gets done in this video. So much so that I'm at the real-time section at the end, it's about 15 minutes long. Well, at least the raw footage is 15 minutes long. Let's say in editing I lose about, 3 minutes? That's 12 whole minutes of real-time section. So this is going to be probably the shortest time-lapse ever, because I'm probably going to just, quick fire, section this thing. We don't have time to sit here and talk in detail about everything, so get ready for the first ever time-lapse quick time section. Okay, first things first, this whole video is about interiors. Every single interior currently in the park, minus I think one, is going to get done in this episode. So, starting off, we have the rooms. That's right, all of these, big 5 warehouses that I think it's 5 now, that the coaster travels through, all of them are getting their interiors done. This is a very, very long process, which unbelievably took very, very long, and you're seeing the second one get built now. But yeah, I'll just kind of jump through these and give you an idea of what they are. I cover them in more detail in the real-time section, you won't miss out. But the previous one you just saw me building, that was a quick ride through the streets of the Twilight District. And this one is a quick ride through the streets of the Twilight District. It is a... Oh, I have reused it, yes. But it makes sense, you know? You're riding through the streets, you're delivering post. It makes sense. Anyway, no time for what does and does not make sense, because here's a look at the exit to that tunnel you might have just seen me building. This is just decorated to look like the top of buildings. As if you're shooting out of an access tunnel and rising up above all the buildings. There's a really cool smoke effect. I'm pretty sure I'm just repeating what I said in the real-time section. Because, fun fact, this is not my first time doing this voiceover. I've filmed the real-time section, came back, and the voiceover was just gone. Hence why I'm doing it very quickly, because it's currently just turning 7 o'clock on the day this video is meant to come out. It was meant to come out at 3. There was a lot of delays. But, we'll move on, because we gotta get out of here quickly so I can post this video. Moving on, as I said, we have this room, which it isn't too themed, but it's more just kind of, it's not direct theming, it's more just kind of showing off the theme of the ride and the vibe of the whole area. So this is what I like to call the lantern room. As you can see, it's just a bunch of lanterns floating about. I think it looks really cool. I think I am just fully mirroring exactly what I said in the real-time section. It doesn't matter. We don't have time to go. We do not have any time. That might be the. I haven't named this episode yet. That might be the title. That might be the title. Just we don't have time. Right. I'll think of a better title later. We don't have time to do that right now because we gotta move on. But here's the lantern room. Like you see, I have gone and suspended the wall by cables. You know, I have gone and done a big realism move there. Moving on. Ah! Oh dear. Sorry, it was an exterior construction jump scare right there. In my interior episode. None of that. Sorry, I'm not taking this voiceover seriously in the slightest for this episode. But yeah, here is some exterior construction. I know, right? A little teaser for what's going to happen in the next episode. Where, you guessed it, it's all exterior. Oh, how thrilling. But anyway, enough of that. This is the interior episode. We don't have time for any of this. Moving on. We have the under construction room, which, as the name would imply, is under construction. Both literally and within the theme of the ride. I think, you know what? This room's quite good. I think this is... no, I'm not gonna say this yet, because I say it already in the real-time section. But, well, actually, no, I'll say it now. You get to hear it again. Lucky you. I think this room is where the most could have gone wrong, I think. I don't know, building something that's meant to look like it's under construction, I think it can sometimes look like you've just kind of cheaped out and gone lazy on it. Which, I mean, don't get me wrong, I probably have. But I think it turned out fine in the end. Oh, why does this keep happening? Why is there so much exterior construction going on in this interior construction episode? We have some custom supports being done, which, as you can tell from how they look, I am not good with custom supports in the slightest. I only did them because it wasn't too, it didn't look very good having them in the middle of the road. So, I just wanted to fix that. But don't worry, this will not be repeated. I don't plan to touch custom supports for the majority of this series. It's something that I've tried to do so many times, and I've just never got it. I don't know how people do it. Like, there's an art to custom supports, and it's just a skill I don't have, so I'm just not gonna bother with them. Moving back indoors, because it's queue time. It's all queue from now on, as we start in the weird, ominous, dark tunnel, where there's pipes going in. There's a lot of pipes. There seems to just be, within this building, you're going to notice a running theme. It's either pipes or crates in every single room. It's a nice thing to fall back on, you know? If I don't know what to do with a wall, put a pipe there, or put some crates there. Flawless plan. And, you know, it looks fine, look at that. As we move on naturally, I don't even need to cut ahead, to the, I forgot what the room's called, the parcel moving room, where we have these lovely, yellow and black caution things. They are yellow and black. They look white and black because of the lighting, but I promise you, those are meant to be yellow and black. And I don't know, they just tell you don't go in there, there's parcels. Speaking of parcels, there's parcels. What? No, there's parcels going in everywhere. Once again, like I say, I just fall back on crates and pipes for this building. You're gonna see this run through a lot. Anyway, on to the next room because this one is done. Moving on, we have the motorcycle workshop, I believe it is. And, you know, while you just watch me put some stuff down, because I didn't know what this room was going to be, I just sort of started putting stuff down until it worked. Speaking of, I might just point out something. This episode is by far the most content-packed. So much has gotten done. And yet, and because of that, it's probably going to have, like, the shortest time-lapse. It's a really weird, like, balance of... well, obviously I want to talk about all this stuff, but I've already done so in the real-time section for like for like 15 minutes, so I've got to just, what am I doing? Well, I'm in the settings, so I've got to, you know, move on quickly, despite how much is being built. But trust me, it'll all be worth it in the real-time section when you get to see all this in proper detail. And now for some thrilling station content, where, I don't know, I have made sure to cut this bit out. As you can see, I'm putting in some lights at the moment. These are for a dispatch sequence, you'll see in a minute. I spent about 2 hours fighting this dispatch sequence, because it just wasn't working. I couldn't figure out what was going on. Like, it worked once, and then it just never worked again. So I'll sat there wondering, what's happening? Why is this not working? I tried for 2 hours, doing everything I could think of to get this to work. I never activated the lights. I forgot that when you build a, a trigger sequence... the lights you connect to it are then deactivated by default. So you then need to like reactivate them in the trigger itself. So many times I've done this. It's infuriating every time it happens because I lose so much time because I never think that's going to be the answer, and it always is. So I'll have to remember that for the next 100 times I make this mistake. Anyway, that's enough about lighting because we're on to the actual theming in the station, and you guessed it, it's more crates. However, this time, actually, I've done something that I don't usually do in stations. I've done row numbers. I mean, well, they're a very big, important, like, thing in real parks, you know? Like, obviously you need to know what row you're going to, other than rides where you can just, you know, count the rows. But, well, the point is, they're quite an important thing, and I never do them, because I can never figure out, like, an elegant way to do them. However... like doing like these little things that I don't usually do is a big focus of this series, and so, you know, I put some time into it, and you know what, I think it came out fine. All things considered, it could have been worse. You know what else could have been worse? Whatever's coming up next, because we're moving on to the unload station, which you can't see because you guessed it, I put in the lighting effect, and this also didn't work for the same 2 hours I was trying to fix the first one. Can you guess what the issue was? Guess now. You've got 3 seconds. Too late is because I didn't activate the lights. How does this keep happening to me? But so yeah, 2 hours were spent between both stations. That is a very fast POV. Blimey, calm down. Yeah, 2 hours were spent between the stations trying to fix this. And it was just a case of I had to press a little button that said activate lights. Fuming about that. Anyway, oh, look, it's moved on already. As I'm building the exit corridor, let's jump ahead to more exit corridor. Whoa, there's more exit corridor now. Well, I've just jumped straight ahead to the theming because no one wants to see a bunch of walls go down. That's very boring. But we have some lighting, which it does get toned down later. Probably too much. Like, I don't know what the safety standards are for lighting, but I imagine you need to see the stairs. And I can't guarantee you can do that. I've frozen. Oh no. Well, that's it for me then, guys. I'm dead. It's so over. Oh no, I'm back. I'm alive again. Let's go. Yeah, well, I don't know what I'll say now. Yeah, I think when I tone it down, I don't know if you can fully see the stairs. I'll have to make sure you can, just because I don't want anyone falling down them, obviously. That probably wouldn't be very good. Anyway, yeah, there's just more metal going in. There's a lot of metal in this ride. There's metal and wood. That is this entire ride. And it's just... hello, bird. What was that? Wait, hang on, wait, let me go back. I need to see that again. What was that? It was, in fact, one of the silly Planet Coaster birds with no feet. Anyway... We are very quickly reaching the end of the time-lapse, so I'm going to head over to the obscenely long real-time section. And you join me once again outside the park, as so many real-time sections seem to start. We're out here, we're not where we've been building, because there is actually something to show you here. This was not included in the time-lapse, as it's something I've literally only just built. It's an idea I've had earlier today, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go ahead with this. But if we turn this way, you'll notice mysterious new structure has appeared in the place of what was previously there. So this is just a quick thing I wanted to go over, as I've decided I'm going to be replacing this themed area with a new one. Not it's been built yet, but in fact I think this will probably be the last one to be built, but I've just figured this is a much more interesting and just better idea for a themed area. So, well, while I'm here, I might as well reveal what the previous one would have been. The previous one was set to be called the Forbidden Realm, and would have been themed to a civilization long cut off from the world. However, not anymore, that is no longer the case, because we've got something new that will be coming in towards the end. I'll just give you a couple more seconds to take this in, you know, try and... What could it be themed to? Woo! Anyway, moving on, as here we are outside Hush Rush Postal Service, where the queue is finally complete. And you know what? Let's go take a walk through of the standard regular queue. This first room, I'm pretty sure this was already done in the last episode. I don't fully remember, to be honest. But yeah, we've got all these boxes here. We'll move straight on past this room. We've already seen this one. As we make our way down here, where things have actually started happening now. Look at this. It's actually theming in the dark, ominous corridor. The dark, ominous... Sorry, I tried to say corridor and hallway at the same time there. In this room, theming has gone in. Just it's nothing too fancy, but it's just like pipes and vents all over the wall. This one does blow out smoke, you just can't see it. As we make our way through to the pre-delivery inspection room, where there is just a bunch of boxes lying around. There's this line which I promise you is yellow and black. It just looks white and black because of the lighting and I don't know. There's probably some kind of good reason why that looks like that. I don't fully know myself. And of course it wouldn't be a visit to this room if we didn't sit here and watch the coaster go by. Oh, you're gonna hear the drop traffic sequence there. I wonder what that could be. You'll see it in a minute, because here comes the coaster. Whee! There we go. But on that, you know, there is a whole there's a whole drop track sequence up there that you haven't seen yet. Just you wait. But we'll get there after we pass through. Is that a bird? How did it get in here? Where did it go? But here we are in... I've said motorcycle workshop now. I can't say it again. But here we are in the motorcycle workshop. This is the room I didn't really show much in the time-lapse, I don't think. Oh, hang on, wait. Look, there it goes. God, that was going to be more dramatic if I waited before I did that. But here it is. And as the lift went up, the lights turned on, and you can't really see it, but some smoke came out from the bottom as well. I don't think it's a really fun feature of the queue to, like, see the lift go up, everything power on as, like, the coaster comes overhead. I don't know, it's quite fun. Here we have just a bench where they're working on something. I'm going to jump over the fence. Here's this. And here's a better look at the inspection lift and the smoke platform underneath. I don't really know what this is. I don't know why I put this here. But it gives an idea of where the smoke would be coming from, like, realistically, because it can't just come out the floor. Anyway, we head through into this room that's just boxes and shelves. Loads of them. They are just everywhere. If you couldn't tell, every time I didn't really know what to do with the room, I just sort of filled it with crates. And that continues to be true as we head through into the next room, which is more wood and crates. As you make your way up here and into the station. Here we are. You know what? For someone who doesn't like building stations and isn't usually very good with stations, I'm very happy with how this has come out. It's not like the most detailed station in the world, but it's quite nice. And as a dispatch effect, watch this. There it goes. Okay, I like it. It's not much of a dispatch effect, it's literally just the lights turning off. But, you know, I think it's quite cool to have, like, the lights dip out, and then as the next train rolls in the dark, and then... Whee! There you go, look at that. The lights come back on as you get on the train. I think that's a really fun feature. But yeah, here's all the row numbers, which, as I said before, is something I don't usually do. It is a bit unclear what, like, side these are on. Like, is this row 6 or is this row 6? Who knows? I know, this is row 6. But, I don't know, I could have probably made that clearer, but I'll figure it out later. And here we go for the closest you'll get to a POV for right now. That will come in the next episode. As I just want to show you this drop track sequence. There you go, you make your way past the lift as you enter here. The bike dispatch room. And I'll shut up so you can hear it. And then you launch off into the rest of the ride, which you can't see right now, because the ride's not done. You don't get to see it until it's done. But yeah, there is the fun drop track sequence. Starting off here with a quick visit to the unload station, where, hang on, it's currently pitch black, but just you wait till the train comes in. Hang on. Hang on. Oh, there we go, look at that. As the lights fade up as you get off the train, and then when you leave, they turn off again. Then you come down these stairs, down the exit platform. I'm in the wrong camera mode for this. I'm going to wiggle my way down here. Make your way down these stairs, past all these pipes, and then you see your ride photos here, and then you leave out into the road. But that is not the end of this real-time section, because we still have more to look at, as all of the interiors of these buildings are done. So let's go take a look. We'll just go around clockwise and start with this one. It's so dark. So we'll start on this side where we have just... you will see this is a recurring theme of some of the buildings, but this is just like in and around the buildings in the Twilight District. Because, well, ultimately, you know, you are a postal service. You're going to go to all the buildings, you're going to see all the buildings, you're going to deliver mail to all the buildings. And then you move on into the access tunnel, which passes down underneath the path, before you get shot up over the building roofs. So it's really hard to show this off. Over, like, the roofs of all the buildings. There's a nice, like, smoke effect as you pass over, where both the chimneys shoot out smoke as you make your way over here, and which leads nicely, actually, into this building, which I'm simply just naming the Lantern Room. Yeah, no, okay. I might have gone a little bit lighter on the theming in here, but, you know, I think it works better. I think this is a less is more situation, where it's just a very, very smoky, dark room where there's a bunch of lanterns flying about. I think it ties into the theme quite nicely of the Twilight District. Well, we can't have it all just be roads. Like, it needs to show off kind of like the mysterious, dark, because I feel like it needs to show off the mysterious, dark themes within the area. But moving on, because this is the most interesting room to look at, we get to this one, which is the room under construction. And, sorry, these are all so dark, I've just tried, you really can't see them. As the name would imply, this is a room under construction. Yeah, there's just, like, materials everywhere, there's half-built walls, there's the switch track, which looks like it's, you know, a piece of construction equipment itself, with all the metal all over it and stuff. I like this room. I think this room is probably where I had, like, a lot of, space for... Hello again, train. This is probably where I had, like, a lot of space for error in this room, because it could have just looked a bit lazy, and, well, it's meant to look unfinished, but you know what I mean, it looks unfinished. But, you know, I think it looks fine. I could probably do a bit of motion in here, as I think I mentioned in the... Oh, well, I've gone outside. As I think I mentioned in the time-lapse, I could probably do with a bit of motion in here. But, you know, I think all in all, it's alright. As we move on again to this room, and, yeah, there we go. The lights have all faded in now, we can see what we're doing. As this one was built to be an outdoor room, which, I don't know, it's quite weird to go from outdoor to indoor. I've said door too much. Door. I've said door too much, it's weird. Yeah, this is just supposed to be like... I can't say, it's so loud in here. I think it's quieter on the I think it's quieter on the recording than it is for me. But, oh, it's so loud in here. I'll pause again for a minute just so I can hear myself think. Yeah, this is mainly just due to the fact that I couldn't figure out how to do the flooring in here. I couldn't figure out any sort of elegant way to do any sort of, like, indoor flooring. So, you know, this is themed to just an outdoor room that you pass through quite a few times in the ride, actually. We have the Hush Rush Postal Service, like, return building. The theming in here is not too much, but, you know, I think it works well. This is meant to be like just the emergency. You've gone the wrong way. You're going backwards. Let's like catch you and send you back on the right way. It's weird they would have a building specifically for that, but yeah, they do. They think ahead. The Hush Red Postal Service. They obviously go the wrong way a lot of times and go backwards a lot of times. But yeah, you have all of that, which leads nicely actually into a room I somehow missed. I don't know how I didn't go here. Actually, I know how I missed it. It's because this is a room of 2 rooms. Because actually, through the wall here, we have another outdoor room. This is also just because I couldn't really figure out what to do with this one. So, but I think it came out quite well. And this was the original of the 2 outdoor rooms. This one, I didn't just like get lazy and do a second outdoor room. Except I did. I did it over there. But this was the original, and I think this one's quite nice. You know, this is more of a sort of built-up outdoor room, but it has kind of like a nice ramp that I'd imagine like the motorbikes would, as they're not flying because they don't fly, but as they're like racing around, they would hit like some kind of insane jump and land on this ramp, giving them another boost as they continue on their trip. And finally, we have one more room just here, which it's just another road. But this was the first room that got built, and you know what? I quite like it. And finally, as a small teaser for the next episode, where the exteriors of the buildings will be done, here is a look at the one piece of exterior theming we have on this building. Anyway, that is all for this episode. I hope you have enjoyed. I hope you haven't enjoyed. I hope you have not enjoyed. I hope you have enjoyed. And I hope to see you in the next one, which should hopefully, please, let it be the last episode for the Twilight District before I move on to one of these 5 remaining very cool areas. I wonder which one it will be. Woo! Anyway, goodbye all.